Making my first club on MFL was a lot of fun. Designing the logo, the badge, building the team, and then starting from the bottom and starting to, get promoted up the divisions and compete for more and more prize money, as well as developing players and doing some fun transfer activity has been an absolute blast. I've seen so many other MFL managers really jump in the deep end and go and get multiple clubs and get, lots of clubs up and running at the same time very quickly or whatever. And, that's been very interesting to watch because there is so many different ways to expand your club and expand, the game that you're actually playing here, because MFL can be really as broad and as in-depth as you want to make it with all the statistics that are available, as well as all the different options for how you manage and control players and different clubs. And I've found that I've now just about got into the sweet spot for myself, where I've went out and I've licensed my second club, and I quickly followed that up by going out into the market and making a hostile takeover and taking over a really high value club, or undervalued club I should say, with the prospect of hiring in your players for it for season 6 and beyond, where I won't take any rev share. And for both of these different strategies that we're unloading now here on the channel and we'll be covering in the video today, is for two totally different reasons, and I'm hoping to show a solid approach for how, when and why to get your next MFL license, your second club, from a more kind of organic, kind of normal paced kind of progression, with starting with one team, earning your MFL and primarily gaining players by opening packs, etc., versus that kind of hostile takeover of going onto the market, finding a club in a spot that is undervalued. I don't want to ruin the video. We'll get into all of that in a second, of course. If you are brand new here and you haven't hit the subscribe button already, please do so. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. If at any point in the video you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do smash the like button. It goes a long way to supporting the content here. And get to the comment section and let me know your thoughts, your feelings, your takeaways, your add-ons to what we talk about in the video today, because there's lots of yous out there that have got lots of clubs, and it's always interesting to hear your approaches, thoughts and feelings, and feedback as well, of course. If you are brand new to MFL and you haven't opened up your account yet, there's a link in the description. It's always loaded up with the best beginner bonuses available. By clicking on that link, you support me and all the content here at the channel, so I'm very grateful if you do so. If you get stuck, if you've got any questions, just jump into the comment section and I'll come and help you out, of course. But yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it, because we did two big streams earlier this week, and I'll link them in the description in this video so you can catch them whenever you're watching this. But the one I'm the most excited about, we went out and we scouted across lots of different clubs in the secondary market. So that's other people that own a club and they have listed it for sale. For whatever reason, some of these people own multiple clubs. Some people maybe feel that they've taken it to its natural kind of pinnacle and they're going to reset and go back to ground zero and maybe rinse and repeat, learn from mistakes, do things better second time around. Could be a number of different things. And we weighed up lots of different divisions and lots of different clubs in very different situations. One of the main ones we were weighing up across all of the guys that were available was the amount of rev share. Now, this has got 97.5 on it, but as we check the information bubble, 34% of that is on clauses, and I think we're able to save around 25 to 29% of that there. So there's a bit of MFL to be gained by picking this club up, which is lovely, despite it having 20 players on contract. And when we look at the amounts that the contracts have, some of them are pretty generous. A friend of the channel, Hoodwink, has got 15% here on the star man in the team, one of the favourite players he's got in his agency. Calvinator has got my favourite centre back in this squad loaned in as well. And there's some other familiar names and faces. Calvinator's actually got 2 players. This guy's going to screw me but on the clause, so I'll lose that one. But yeah, really fun, interesting squad. There's some actual rev share to be gained by picking this up as well. And this is the situation we found it in. It was 5th in the Stone division, and we were shopping around different Stone clubs, and the price that this club was available at for the position in the table it was in, married in with that squad contract dynamic, just made it the absolute ripe peach to go and pick for, a bit of a queue jump. We got this for $130. A normal MFL club license is $80 out of the packet, and that starts in Spark. So to not be in Spark, Ice, but Stone would be a great little queue jump opportunity. The MFL payout is greater, and for you guys, the members on the channel that are FC Barcelona season ticket holders for season 6, this squad is going to be primarily comprised of your players, and I'm going to be quite dynamic with the percentages that we pay out. But we found the team in 5th on 21 points, closer to relegation than promotion, with the gap to the top 3 being 6 points and the gap to the bottom of the playoff spots being 4 or 5, depending on what spot you want to look at here. The first game, as you can see, we had was We the Norse. And if you check out the second big stream we done, we got to learn about the players, we built our tactics in terms of the key formations that we felt we could maximise and use with the players that we had, and then we set about attacking the fixtures that we had coming up. We sadly lost the first game against We Are the Norse, but this was a learning curve. It was a very tight match, truth be told. We have a wee peek at the goals while I'm talking, but it didn't really discourage me because it was a tight match, and the table was very tight. The team is projected 4th strongest on the latest projections. Nice wee goal there for Stefano. So it should be a strong squad, but from everyone I've played, it's been very, very equal. If not, we've been up against it. Our second match we played was top of the table. So we had a wee bit of wildcard element coming into this. I played a formation that suited the players, had never been played before by the opponent. This guy might not even have known the manager had changed, and yours truly was in with the golden touch here. But we played a real wildcard formation against, from the scouting I did on this guy and we did on the stream as well, it didn't seem that he was going to play with this formation, and it really paid off for us in a big way. We beat top of the table 3-1, and the goals were pretty sweet. This Lungvis guy, by the way, if any's ever come across him, because I don't own him, we'll check who the agent is or whatever, but this guy is a talent. This guy's a really good centre midfielder. His attributes are so well balanced and effective. He scored a banger of a free kick. He's been a bit of a set piece guy for me, as you can see. He takes corners and stuff, I think, on one side, and this was a buzz, by the way. This was so good. Coming into a team that I had nothing to do with building, that wasn't particularly excelling or doing great, and reading the stats, building the tactics, doing the player instructions. We did all of this on stream. We very quickly hit the ground running, where the star boys are performing. We're getting a good tune out of everyone. We've had to rotate as well because we had a suspension. We've had some poor energy management on 1 or 2. And with the formations that are available, it's quite limiting on the combos of quality players that we can link up here. So we really need to pick our battles with what players we're going to start and what ones we're going to rest, depending on the opponent and the formation and whatever. We then played Scrub Farm, which is like a throwaway team, and we absolutely smashed them. We played great, different shape again, and we've seen, again, it's a weaker opponent, so it's hard to really hold the performances to the same standard as beating top of the table. But Calvo was a big game in both of these, and this wee guy Baroni, who is the best finisher at the club, that I was gutted I couldn't get into the best team. Look at this, shoot on sight, bangs one from the edge of the box, and I think he gets a hat-trick in this game, by the way. He absolutely rinsed it, and it makes it really hard to not play him now. But again, with the tactics and so I've had a lot of fun balancing this, and just kind of coming into it from that overview approach of what quality is actually here, and how do we go about winning matches. And this is a Baroni goal, isn't it? I think. Yeah. Look at this, man. The guy just lashes it again. He's a hero. He's really young as well. He's got 80 finishing, and for right wing, it can be devastating, as you see here. And this is a team we expect to hump, but it's just nice to see the goals flying in, of course. And it's good for confidence, good for L5 form and all that kind of stuff as well, which feels like it plays a bit of a part. I do feel that if guys are on form, they're on form. You get a wee burst, you get a wee thing. Because when we spoke about player progression before, we have kind of theorised that it's kind of more considered from the game's perspective, from that top level approach of over the season, what do you get, rather than every day at training or after every match or whatever. They just kind of come in if certain things are hit or activated. And over the course of the season, what will their range get into? How far can you actually even push that? Is an interesting thought as well. And I think that's all she wrote for this game. We had a lot of fun, a lot of great goals, which is great. And then right after that, we had a 6-pointer against Wild Eagles. Now, we were neck and neck with them in 5th and 4th. They were the team closest to us in the table above us. And he went 4-2-4 on us. He tried to play a bit of the Lisbon Lions. We came out with a different formation again, and we absolutely slayed him in his own back garden. I must admit, I was so nervous coming into this, but see, at half-time, we're 2-0 up. I did get comfortable, I did get excited, I'm not going to lie. Nice wee tap in there from a corner. The second goal, I don't remember if the goals were particularly impressive, to be honest with you, but I do remember getting to half-time thinking, I'm so glad that we're doing well in this game. Yeah, Martinez, only 65 finishing. He surprised me how prolific he's been. Their goal was at a corner. Did make me think, don't get ahead of yourself here. Don't think it's one when it's not. Tight game, nice finish from Harold Gibb there, Harry boy. But then we got that decisive goal right at the end. Estevez, this guy sells shirts. Make no mistake about it. You will need to give away some rev share, but he sells shirts. There's just no mistaking it. The boy has got talent. He is a high value prospect. And then we had to do the business here against Tyre, which was good fun. And again, how we set about the tactics, how we ID'd the team, we went through in a lot more detail on the stream. But again, coming into this, we went back to one of the shapes. So we're starting to cycle back through systems or whatever. We're rotating midfield, defence, attack, everyone, because there's not a lot of crossover potential with some of these players. And then we're managing the fitness with them all and everything. And that's been really fun because this club already has all the players. I don't need to think about player acquisition or anything like that. So with that Q jump ability, I'm also like getting a shot of the game. I'm also starting to feel what type of players do well, what kind of formations work well for me, I enjoy playing, I can get a tune out of, and it's a good opportunity to learn lessons. Now, buying this club, the number one objective was it's not going to get relegated, and as you can see with the performances we've had there, I think I can just about safely rule that out, okay? FYI, one of the things that made this club so appealing is it's got 3 trophies in its cabinet, which I was just absolutely in love with. This club has history, this club has character, and it was a great club for us to make a hostile takeover of here. And this personality, the fans, the support, has been a bit of the difference. We're now 2 points off of third, having went through 5 games, won 4 of them on the bounce. We played Gold Coast Surfers as we come to record today, but then the final 2 games are Aarhus Elite, who are relegation fodder, and Volcanique Clermont, who are our direct opposition in third. We could come out of nowhere and get into the promotion spots by the time everything's all said and done. With us beating MFL Masia, and at point of recording we've got Gold Coast Surfers to play. This is a real kingmaker fixture list we've had, and so far, you know, we are the Norse. Close game, we drop points, whatever. We can quickly forget about that because of how on the money we've been in every other game. And this is a lot of fun to have. And normally when you open up your club in MFL, you've got to, like, you do all the stuff, you know, you design it, you name it, you have to go out and get all the players, and you need to wait for the season to start. But this club has been like a real pick up and play experience. It's been a lot of fun in that regard, and I wonder even if I'm not going to do it for this, but even just playing that as part of the game, like maybe keep this team up quite comfortably, or maybe even get it promoted, list it again, buy another stone one, maybe there's a skim opportunity there or something, I don't know. But it's been really engaging, it's been a lot of fun, and it doesn't really feel in much jeopardy because, like, let's just even say reputationally, I didn't pick these players, I'm just kind of need to firefight, you know, come in and do the best with what you've got. And as you can see with the level of the team for Stone, this is not exceptional at all. 2 blues is lovely, right, and they're in good positions that are valuable, and there is some good statistics elsewhere. This guy Clement having 80 dribbling with 77 passing makes him a real piece of artillery, and it's about those stat combinations, it's about how we build the team, the tactics we do. And then this is again something I'm kind of seeing at this level of the game, thinking about the team we'll be building with you guys in the community, what sort of attributes we like to see, what positions work well together and that we can optimise. And when we come into Season 6, we will rebrand this club and we'll make it a bit more fun for the community that are going to be engaged in it. And hopefully, like, this team could be iron. Like, if we get enough likes on the video and we smash through the next 3 fixtures here, we continue to be that wild card. The players just lift the level like they've been doing fantastically. And this could be an iron club, which is just even more MFL for you guys to get your players on contract with, which is great fun. Now, the more organic approach, right, is, like you guys will know, FC Barcelona, I've been playing with this team since Season 1. We're in iron. And about, like, around the same time, we dropped points against Hags Volleyball School. We drew with Edinburgh Pirates. It wasn't looking good. But around the same time, the last 5 games from when we've had the Ravens experience, it's been win, 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 win. Big match after big match after big match, and we're now in second with touching distance to top. 3 games to go at point of recording. You know, we've got a 6-pointer here. Last game of the season, we're playing Arabia, who are down here. You know, I'm feeling good about promotion prospects, right? But the number one thing FC Barcelona does not have in its locker is a trophy. And, like, this is like 3 cup finals that I've got coming up, which is so much fun. And all of my energy and all of my focus has been on this team, this squad, and everything that goes around it. But my agency is growing. You know, I don't know how many players in my agency, but I've had packs, I've had referral rewards, I've won players, I've bought players, etc. I've then, like, got promoted, and the players I've bought haven't been good enough, or I don't need them anymore. I've replaced them in some way, whatever it might be. And 64. I've got 64 players in my agency, and this is like a really my first team, FC Barcelona, is really strong. I've got players out on loan that will come back in and make me stronger. I've got a dev centre contingent here of I don't know how many players, and yeah, I've got enough guys out on loan, guys I've bought I don't need anymore, referral rewards, etc, etc. But with 24, if I minus like 20, let's just say 20 for the first team, that's 44 other players that are loaned out there, and for the majority of them, they're in Spark, and the contract terms on them all are all kind of fine, right? But for the amount of players that are here and the average of how well they'll all do, the few ones that are in Ice are probably quite good value for money for the level of card, etc, etc. So if I did use any of them in the expansion of like, how do I actually just make the most of all of these Spark cards I've got out on loan who are good players that are not worth enough for me to really sell for the most part. I think I'll sell some of the guys I've bought that are quite good as well, just for the sake of it, really, to be honest. But I've got to this point now where I do feel that there's enough players there that would make a team and then a little bit more, and I will probably earn more as an agent from these guys in a cohesive team that I've built where they all play all the time, and I'm not checking like, oh, did this guy play today? No, did that guy play? No, he hasn't. He's been bombed out the team. The guy's brought someone else better in. He's fulfilled the contract stipulations. They don't play anymore. These kind of things happen. But ultimately, the better it does, it benefits me and it benefits the players in kind because they can play at a higher level. And then when it does become an Ice squad, all of these guys that are down here, I can essentially have facilitating a lot more Ice level income for me. And then you can see how that snowballs and is like a good thing to have as like a chaser behind the primary team. I can play the same tactics, and any players that don't fit this team anymore can quite easily move down and make another team that's essentially a kind of mini clone, as it were. All the stronger, all the better. And this feels like a very, like as I said at the tip off, like an organic approach to making your second club, because I've put a lot of energy into these players, this squad. I know them all very, very well. I know what systems work with them. I know how to set all the stuff for them. And like growing out of them is like a part of the game at some point if you are going to progress and whatever. But depending on what you've got, or how much disposable income, time, however you want to think of it as, this is a fantastic option. The club we opened, we bought a brand new license with some Disney dollars, and we landed in Portland. We've called it the FC Barcelona Academy. And as you can see, I've already went out and across my agency, I've signed 2 to a player in every position. The only thing I don't have cover for is really attacking mid is kind of missing, and I don't have an ST. I don't have a striker, but I do have 2 CFs, so maybe that can work. But this is a really strong, this is too strong for Spark. I get that, right? We're going to smash through it. Hopefully some of these guys get some great progression, but then I'm going to have a really strong Ice outfit very quickly. And like I say, these are all players that I've grown through, and I'm really excited to get a shot of together because like part of the connection I've had with my club is the promotions and the big victories, and the players that have progressed from like 66 to 70 are really fun to enjoy. And it's not always like for the point of selling them. I don't think I'll be selling any of these guys, of course, because they're all pre-contracted, but I will sell some bits of, like I mentioned before, guys I've bought. Maybe I'll just recycle them back into the market, cash back as it were. But I'm really excited to see these guys all go together in a team for different reasons. I've got, again, all shapes and sizes, which we'll talk about in a lot more detail coming through here. But I don't think I would have been ready to do this, like actually start another team and contract players in from the market, if I still had a really big focus. And I still have a really big focus with my main team, but it's so close to being as optimized as it really can be, where now I'm just waiting for MFL to come in and end the season pack rewards. And for the most part, that will probably be how my club's top end improves for the most part, and my growth in the game might be kind of dictated by that a little bit. But what I can definitely do with any kind of ceiling that I hit there is have something else kind of bubbling up and behind it as well. And like you've seen with the first way that we went about buying in our club, where we're being shrewd, where we're queue jumping, where we're looking for maybe a fun club for whatever reason. Maybe the location, I valued the trophy cabinet, of course, as well as the MFL I could get instantly. So at the end of the season, I'll earn like a wedge of MFL, like 30% of, imagine it finishes top 3. So I think we budgeted this, by the way, for it finishing like 6th or something, maybe even 7th. If I finish 3rd, that's going to be about 2,500 MFL that I get out of this. Which, depending on exactly how much it does get to and where we finish and anything else that might come, with the cup and whatever else. I'm not too, yeah, there'll be cup stuff, I'm sure, somewhere. Maybe we could get a limited player, and that would be like one straight pack right away, which would be a reinforcement for next time around, which would be fun. And I don't know, I feel quite good with the way two clubs are running at the moment, and it's actually done two totally different ways. So I'm really looking forward to how this Ravens squad is going to evolve and develop. And by all means, guys, with all three clubs, if you're ever on MFL and you check them out, please do hit the little follow button there. It just supports the club, I guess. And like I say, it's all about the support, it's all about the fans. We want to get as many fans in attendance as we can to cheer on the community team or Barcelona or any of your clubs as well, of course. And it's just a fun little kind of dynamic in the game as well, where, you know, if you follow some clubs and they come in for a loan for players, or they've got players, you know, it just makes that kind of networking element a bit more interesting, doesn't it? A bit more fun. And yeah, kind of all the work is done for this little club already, but I'm looking forward to having that kind of mini clone element of a team with less kind of pressure, because these games, like, I am scouting out of my mind for these games coming into them, as well as the Ravens ones, and I think I've done a pretty good job of that. I think both ways of starting the game have got pros and cons. I'm a bit of a fan, actually, of the aggressive takeover for starting the game, certainly, because it's a great way to kind of get in the deep end, cut your teeth, learn some things, and I say have like no pressure on your back. And if you can get the right situation where you could get like your own player for free out of it as a result, as like a bit of like cashback, as I've kind of just mentally thought of it in terms of the objective, you know, how good can we finish off, how much MFL can we snag for ourselves, and then subsequently can we go and get something off the back of that. It's a lot more engaging, it's a lot more fun, but I do have a soft spot, of course, for that kind of organic way, the way everyone kind of joins, I suppose, for the most part, where you buy your $80 license, you start off in Spark at the bottom, you use inexpensive players, you get as many loans as you can get your hands on, and you start to learn your footing from there as well. But the problem with like lower rated players, I suppose, is like, I don't know if it's more sensitive to like just bad games and stuff like that, and because you're at a scale where you think, oh, my 52 guy should be doing a lot better, he is still 52, you know, like, whereas a 64 guy, you know, like, I just think there's different levels of floors maybe at different stages of the game, and when you get a little bit higher in the game, you kind of see where like the real quality comes out in players and what can really make the difference. And then when you step that back into the lower reaches, I think you can maybe hit the ground running a bit better. So I'm a big fan of the hostile takeover after starting out with both of these so far. I'm looking forward, of course, to expanding the content, because we'll be following the Mykolaiv Ravens very, very closely as well, of course, as is we will do with FC Barcelona, looking to get out of iron and get into bronze. We're starting to get into the really juicy, get into the really exciting leagues. We've got a hell of a run in. Could we avoid playoffs? Could we get our first trophy? Can we get the Ravens into the playoffs? It's all going to be good fun as well, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. On screen now is some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe for more content like this. Get into the comment section and all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.